helps you select among and live within those transcendentally and physically harmonious habits and choices. The 23 cosmic habits in this book are not direct echoes of what appears within the work of Napoleon Hill. Footnote: 23 is a number of synchronous significance to artists and spiritual thinkers who I admire, although do not always agree with, including Robert Anton Wilson, William S. Burroughs, Genesis P. Orridge, Aleister Crowley, and Arthur Koestler. You do not need a new book to retread old ground. Rather, these habits are fresh but also faithful soundings of themes and imperatives found in Hill's work and that members of my mastermind group, as well as devotees of Hill's writing from all stations of life, have committedly worked with. Footnote: if you are unfamiliar with the concept of a mastermind group, see Appendix 3, Napoleon Hill's 17 Laws of Success. Each habit is presented in a manner that I hope addresses your most urgently felt needs, as well as broader demands that characterize our present era. Taken together, these 23 steps are an applied program in cosmic habit force. They ultimately synchronize you with cycles, inevitabilities, and forces that bring growth to our world and to you as an individual. In that sense, cosmic habit force can feel like a causative energy at the back of your efforts, which, in fact, it is. The approach that I have described, cultivation of generative habits and actions, is not only a formula for accomplishment, but it is the best lifestyle I personally know of for individual happiness. We are conditioned to think in terms of elusive or inflated concepts when we consider self-development and its horizons. People of a spiritual orientation might employ terms like realized, enlightened, or illumined. I personally find such language overused and, based on observation, excessive. People of a psychological bent may use terms like well-adjusted, actualized, or fulfilled. Those concepts are perhaps more graspable, but, like the recent vocabulary of cognitive behavioral therapy, psychological terminology can proscribe the individual to a life of diagnostic contentment rather than encourage and support a more expansive sense of attainment. For my part, I contend, and I believe that Hill's work affirms, that the true aim of life is maximum self-expression. Individualized expression occurs often, though not always, through livelihood or personal aim. These are sometimes the same and sometimes different. It is important to note that Hill's program is not strictly about careerism or money-making. It is about the concretization of ideas. Yet in his landmark Think and Grow Rich, Hill also acknowledged, with an admirable absence of sentimentality, that money and material things are essential for freedom of body and mind. Anyone who doubts that has probably never known lack. Voluntarily or periodically eschewing money is not the same as suffering its true absence. If you grew up in the shadow of need, as I did, you probably have no doubts about the reality of what I have just stated. Hill put it this way in a 1952 lecture he delivered as part of his Success Unlimited class. I have never yet found any way of getting along in life in any station or calling above mediocrity without financing, and I don't believe anybody else can do it. Hill's philosophy is not lacking ideals, but it confronts life and its material element with complete realism. This is why Hill's sharpest critics in journalism and academia, although not without valid points, and I have criticized Hill myself. Footnote: see my One Simple Idea, How Positive Thinking Reshaped Modern Life, tend to reveal a subtle sense of social entitlement when categorizing programs of self-striving and money-making as culturally retrograde, superficial, or misleading. Part of why sectors of opinion-shaping media and academia lag in understanding self-help movements and practical spirituality, or evince criticism of forethought of such movements, stems, I believe, from social class and unfamiliarity with need. Wage and commit